Hello lovely people. So there's an unboxing coming, but before I do an unboxing I wanted to get out my tin of the tarot cards of Tech Charms. I am going to use the key logo card in the middle of the tin lid, and I'm going to just mix these up, and I'm going to grab a handful without looking, and I am going to throw them in, and the one that's nearest the yellow logo is the colour that I'm going to look for. So we've got the Forgotten. I'm going to move these candles out the way, hang on. They smell gorgeous, but I don't want to set anything on fire. The pinky peach colour is the Forgotten. So when you picture your user base who is excluded, if they used your product, what would their experience be like? Whose perspective is missing from product development? That's just something I'm going to keep in mind as I'm doing this unboxing. It's witching season, Siren's coming up, and I saw it and I loved it. So it's the Witches'Wisdom Tarot, 78 card deck and guidebook by Phyllis Curott, artwork by Danielle Barlow. Okay, this is editing me. It's not Daniel, it's Danielle. I've obviously lost the ability to read. So the artwork is by Danielle. She is from Dartmoor. She's English. She's a mom of 3. Solidarity, English artist, mom of 3. She has been a head witch. Still can't speak. A hedge witch for over 20 years, professional artist, illustrator, incense maker, maker of the green wheel oracle, a trained horticulturalist, a caretaker of the animals and the land. So, sorry, not Daniel, Danielle. It is a hay house, and the minute I saw it, it was one of those where you click off and you immediately go and buy it. How stunning is that? So beautiful. So it says, magic of feather, song and air, awaken, inspire and make aware. Magic of claw, hearth and fire, warm, enliven and inspire. Magic of fin, womb and water, love and dreams conjure. Magic of fur, seed and earth, embody, nourish and give birth. Magic within and around awaken, spirits, answers and guidance taken. Oh. Okay, well we started with poetry, so I'm already sold. Oh my gosh, the book is gorgeous. It's, oh, we get a bag as well. But you know what, the good thing about being 51 and always sleep deprived is my memory is so shockingly atrocious. If I've seen somebody's unboxing, give me a couple of hours and turn me around twice and I've forgotten it. Oh, but look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And the book has got this lovely, lovely linen feel. Oh my gosh, look at the book. So it looks like there's fire, earth, water, air. 18 is the guardian, 19 is the great mother. Council of all beings. Also we've got some maze, intuition, ancestor, healing, rebirth. Oh, we've got some major card name changes, keywords. So there's no pictures. Oh, spreads. Are the majors at the back? Yes, majors are at the back. You've got no pictures, but you do have wisdom, essence and counsel. Do I have that on each? Yeah, wisdom, essence, counsel and magic. Oh, and on the minors. So you've got 4 sections, wisdom, essence, counsel and magic. Oh, so I like this. It looks like the wisdom section for each card is describing the card. The essence are keywords or key phrases. So it's the card in its boiled down essence, which makes sense. The counsel is the advice the card is giving you. So you know what you should do if you pull the card. And then the magic, it comes with a spell. Oh, I love that. So it's a beautiful, beautiful magnetic box with a bag. Oh, look, they've really gone to town on this packaging. Ask your question, shuffle the cards, open the book and take a look. Spirit hears what's in your heart and answers with love, wisdom and art. It's a beautiful linen bag with a gorgeous print on. It's a really, really thick, sturdy deck. The cardstock, my gosh, that's one hell of a thick deck. It's matte cardstock. It is beautiful cardstock. I think it's going to be a bugger to shuffle though, because I mean I've only got tiny hands. The backs of the cards are gorgeous. Love that. So those are the backs. So we've got the Pilgrim. She's not at a cliff edge, she's walking out into the wild and she's got the stars above her. I love that connection with nature. Ooh, these are in a funny order. Oh my gosh. Backpack, is that the same backpack? Yes, we have, look, the necklace. Hang on. Oh look, they've all got the necklace on. Look at the Rebirth card. Oh my gosh, I could cry at that card. The Wheel of Life card, yes. Look at that card, look at the artwork in there. Oh my gosh, it's got an octopus. Oh my gosh, that's so gorgeous. Right, well, I've just woke up, hence the state of me, and I was going to upload the video that I filmed yesterday, but it's such an amazing deck and it's so different, and I so didn't understand what I was looking at. I'm not going to. I'm going to read the book today. I am going to look at it properly because it's incredible and it deserves to be shared with a little bit more understanding. I woke up and went straight back to this deck of cards, straight back to the book. And yeah, so what you saw before this was some of my initial impressions of actually opening it last night. I'm going to go and have a shower. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to read the book and I'm going to get back to you on this. Hi guys, it's me again. Right, so I've spent a day reading, part of yesterday reading the start of this book. I haven't read the individual cards because I wanted to sit with those intuitively first before I go to the book. But I now have a clearer handle on what this deck is. My first attempt of a walkthrough was all oohs and ahs and confusion and trying to make this fit and very quickly realising that it doesn't fit. So I really wanted to do it justice because it's so beautiful. So I went back to the book and straight away in the opening introduction, something struck me. Phyllis Curott, she says that tarot opens up a world of possibility and wonder, but this tarot opens up a world of wisdom, possibility, wonder and magic. So she's immediately setting this deck apart by adding in wisdom and magic. And you know, I think that's true. She's pulling on the wisdom of shamanic witchcraft, which is what she is a part of. Definitely the witchcraft path. The biggest difference with this deck is the ordering and the idea that the normal tarot system, starting with the Fallen, working its way out to the World card in the majors, is kind of that idea of being in your body on the earthly realm, but then trying to attain spiritual enlightenment and moving further and further away from your body till you end up in the World card, like floating in space. It's about leaving the earth, leaving the things of the body, and chasing after something that takes you away. That's the direction of the normal tarot path. In this tarot deck, Phyllis and Danielle, the artists, they both decided to do shamanic journeying on each card, each of them individually, and they came back together and then compared notes in order to get a clear vision of what each card should be. And they both found that they were being given the reversed order, and that it was really important that the order changed, and that really it's a healing path back into yourself. It's the first time that the course of the majors has been reversed, she says, in the whole of tarot history, and it's about coming back down into yourself, into the womb of Mother Earth, not upwards into the Father's heaven. So it's no wonder that this deck for me just called me, because for me, that connecting with nature, that connecting with the Wheel of the Year, and it was the Wheel of the Year card that made me want to buy this deck. And coming back into your own power, coming back into your body. For me, that's the power of my new spiritual path. It's also part of healing from trauma, getting in touch with the felt sense. It's really important to come back into your body. So all these things combined, I just love it. So the power and the magic here is a merging of contemporary witchcraft and core shamanism. She calls it Shamanic Wicca. And it's tapping into that universal spiritual wisdom of Mother Earth. So yeah, the path is really, really important, and the reverse direction. She also holds strongly onto her witchcraft tradition by changing a lot of the cards. The Fool becomes the Pilgrim. The Devil's completely gone out of the deck. She introduces the Ancestor instead, because it's all about connecting with ancestors, families, that idea of continuing. And also in that, you've got some of those core wounds that like addictions, that often the Devil card represents. You know, some of those core wounds, that calling on the ancestors, if you are on this path, is the way to heal them. So I love the fact that the Ancestor replaces the Devil card. Temperance is replaced by the Plant People and the healing power of plants. And the Hierophant, all signs of religious links are taken out. And it's replaced with something that is simpler and clearer, with the Wisdom Keeper. So it's just fantastic. I've put the deck back in the order that it comes in the box, because originally for the first walkthrough I'd fiddled with it, trying to get the order to make sense before I realised that it was different. So what I'm going to do now, I am going to go through the cards just to show you the images as they come. So we start off with air. Now she uses plants and nature and animals for the minors, just because it's that idea, that path of reconnecting. So there's a lot of there's a lot, it's nature based. You've got plants, you've got birds, and it's because of that idea of coming back to Mother Earth. She is a attorney and an activist, women's rights and environmental issues, and her magic, she says, is very much centered on genius loci, the spirit of place. And I think you can see that in this deck. Now the courts are the messenger, the witches, the craftsmen and the goddesses. So she uses shapeshifters for the courts. And you've got the different genders represented. And I just think they're amazing. Now, I panicked a bit when I saw images like this, thinking, well, is this cultural appropriation? But having read a little bit more that her path is in Shamanic Wicca, and the fact that they used shamanic journeying to be given these images, and it's done with so much respect and reverence, then and she does address it in the guidebook. Personally, I think there's enough respect there that it's okay, but you know, I'm not a shaman, so it's not up to me to say. But for me, with my layperson's head on, I think that it was addressed enough in the guidebook. And you can see we've got the fire suit. It's just really, really beautiful. They wanted to stick really with the elemental names for the suits rather than calling it wands. They've called it fire, and yeah, for them it was really important, this elemental aspect of it, which again ties into a nature-based Wicca. So she said that they wanted to begin with the elements, not the symbols of the elements, so to stick very firmly rooted on the earth, not to become symbolic. I suppose becoming symbolic involves floating away again, and you know, it's just beautifully done. Like the people in here, you've got different races, different genders, different ages. The people aren't necessarily body beautiful at all. They look like real people. You can feel the wisdom and the magic in these cards. This is the water. I mean, if you are on this sort of spiritual pathway, Mother Earth, the power of nature, looking to nature for your answers, you know, looking to deity, gods and goddesses, shamanic practices, this is such an important deck, I think. You know, it's really pushing the point that spirit and earth are one. You know, our teacher is nature. And the very fact that their shamanic journeying devised the images of the cards and laid out the deck for them. There's power within this deck before we've even begun. I just love the fact that it's kind of pulling in that universal energy that is available through Mother Earth and nature itself. It's certainly the power that I've felt tapped into, especially with my current working with the Wheel of the Year. So we see the quartz again. You can see the different cultures represented here. We also have swans and octopuses and crows in this deck. I mean, as if it couldn't get any better, but you know, there we go. She gives a really glorious description in the guidebook about her first path into tarot and the spiritual path. She was in the corporate world as a lawyer, well, an attorney, and she describes going into a dusty bookshop and meeting a tarot reader, and at that point she'd had loads of synchronicities and whispers and something going on that she was denying, and basically this tarot reader in a dusty corner spoke to her about her dreams and invited her to a woman's group practicing witchcraft. And it was her first it's just a really evocative story in the guidebook about her first path in, when she was in denial of some of the things that she was experiencing, which made me smile. So you can see, I mean, these images are so beautiful. So it really is, it really is coming from the standpoint that, you know, we have a union with divinity. We don't need to float out of ourselves and go into some higher dimension away from Earth to connect with the divine. The divine and creation and that universal energy and the embodiment of divinity is really here on Earth. It's grounded inside of us. It's in genius loci, it's in place. It's in the earth between our fingers. It's in the ground under our own feet. You know, it's in the bushes and the twigs and the cycles and death and regeneration. It's just such a beautiful deck. So those are all the minors. Now, the majors are spectacular. When I first started reviewing the deck yesterday, well, 2 days ago now, I noticed like things like the backpack was the same and the hat was the same, and then I noticed that they'd got the necklace on. And when I read the book, it says that the necklace, which is, oh, this is so wonderful, it's a slice of apple, which of course is a natural pentagram with the seeds. The apple slice necklace shows you who the pilgrim is. So the pilgrim changes races, cultures, genders throughout, but it's the same person. You can recognise the pilgrim from this apple pentacle necklace, which I completely and totally love. And what she says in the introduction in the book about the pilgrim is just so wonderful. She said, we first meet the pilgrim, a woman striding away from a world on fire, striding away into nature. We had met the pilgrim and she was nobody's fool. Oh, we had met the pilgrim and she was nobody's fool. How wonderful is that? And we are in a world on fire at the moment. The world is literally, we're destroying it. It is literally on fire, we all know that. And reconnecting with nature and being nobody's fool is such an empowering message. Here you can see the initiation ceremony. Nature is taking away, stealing her past, taking it away. So you can see we're going backwards. This would be the Judgment card. So this is the World card. That would be the Judgment card. So the Sun. So you can see we're going backwards. We're coming back down from the heavens, and we are going into coming back to the earth. So the wolf there has got the necklace on, the star, and then the maze. So you can see the backpack again. So this would be the Devil card, and it's the ancestor. So, you know, wounds to heal and paths to follow and choices and healing, and core wounds that can cause so much problems and addictions. You know, you go to the ancestors for that. This would be the Temperance card. So this is all about healing. It uses the plant yarrow here and the plant people. Okay, so in the book, if I go to the book, you will see that card 8 is healing, but it also gives you in brackets what card it would be in the Rider-Waite system. So it would be card 14, which is Temperance. So it does give you that reference in the book, and also at the back of the book it also gives you a chart with the Witches'Wisdom Tarot card and how it relates, reversed or upright. So there is a chart in the back of the book which is useful. The Rebirth card I completely adore. The fact that it's a the fact that it's a woman taking on the aspect of the crow. I just love it. A lot of these, the book says it doesn't, if you want to read with reversals, you can, but it doesn't talk about reversals because it gives a more empowered, positive message on the card meanings. So 10, you've got offering. So again, you can see the necklace identifying the pilgrim in each card. 11 is balance. Here's the Wheel of the Year. Now this is the card that I saw that made me buy this deck, because I was already feeling in my practice that I wanted to connect more in my practice to nature. 13 is the Shaman. 14 is Strength, just beautiful Strength card. 15 is Journey. Now the Lovers card is replaced with Love, and they decided to go with a witch and her familiar, the love between those two. So although you don't see different sexualities represented in the deck, they did make a point of taking that heterosexual couple out and replacing it with this. This is the replacement for the Hierophant. So this is now the Wisdom Keeper. It said they wanted to go for something more simplified and to get away from organised religion. So something with more clarity and simplicity. I really love it. So the Guardian and Great Mother. The High Priestess. So in this deck it's the Priestess. So you can see we're going backwards. The Council of All Beings instead of the Magician. And then we end up at the end of our journey, rather than the World card floating in the sky, we've got the Pilgrim again, with her familiar and with the apple slice necklace on, like firmly rooted in nature, walking through the wildflowers with the stars above her, set in the landscape, set with Mother Earth, very grounded on earth. And like I say, with the book says we had met the pilgrim and she was nobody's fool. So that's it. That's the Witches'Wisdom Tarot guidebook. I've never felt compelled to stop an unboxing and start again. I've never done that before, but I felt I really needed to with this one. I think it's completely spectacular. I really do. I think this is really something else. Like it said, the book says it's the first time to have ever reversed the major arcana's direction in tarot history. I really think if you're on a path where you're connecting with nature to connect with your own power and you're coming back into yourself, if you're on a healing journey and you're using your spirituality for that, if you are stepping away from the spiritual heavenly realms of organised religion and want something more hands-on, and you feel like you can connect with the divine within yourself, then this really is an important deck. It's beautifully put together. Everything about it is quality. Everything. And I am definitely interested now to go and read the books of Phyllis Curott. I think Phyllis Curott and Danielle Barlow did the most spectacular job here. And if we're thinking about our question about who, when you picture your user base, who is excluded, well, the user base would be people interested in this spiritual path, whose perspective is missing. I think this deck has done a really good job of representing different races, can you hear Tilly singing in the background? There's genders, there's ages represented. It isn't a body beautiful deck, so that's really good as well. There are real looking people in this. With different sexualities, although we're not seeing homosexual couples or gender fluid individuals represented, there is a nod to walk away from the more commonly represented heterosexual path as well. What I don't see is any disability, and I think when you're pushing the idea of connecting with nature and walking a natural path, I think it would have been nice to have seen a nod to that somewhere, you know, because that idea of you know, how do you access a path back into the natural world if you're disabled? I mean, I am a carer for my disabled daughter, and it is hard for not only her to get out into nature, but to me to get out into nature with a daughter that's reluctant, shall we say, to walk that path. So, you know, that would have been nice to have seen addressed somewhere, you know, whether that's with a card with the power of houseplants on. You know, if we pretend that the opposite of your assumptions about your core user are true, so the core user is somebody that wants to walk this path that can't walk into nature, then how does this change your product? That would have put a few more cards with, you know, if you're not able-bodied, how do you walk this path? You know, some of these shamanic journeying cards, you know, you could go for a virtual walk into nature. So that would be my one area of the forgotten in this deck. But I think on the whole, it needs to be applauded for the job it has done. I am mightily impressed with it. My dog's now scratching in the background. I am mightily impressed with it. I think this is a really important deck. I really do. And I'd be really interested to know what your thoughts are on it. It's beautifully done. I mean, look at the artwork in that card. It's just incredible. It is beautifully done. Everything about it is quality. Yeah, so that's the Witch's Wisdom Tarot by Phyllis Curott and the artwork by Danielle Barlow. It's a Hay House deck. It is beautiful. I love it. I hope that made sense, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.